We always met behind the pawn shop on 12th Street after we do a job. For the first time, I'm the last to arrive. They probably thought I wouldn't show up, that I'd keep the money to myself. What took you so long? Ezekiel wants to know. He never asked about Luke, the kid left behind. It's how it is. You lose a few along the way. Can't cry over spilt milk. It's been 3 hours since I left the cafe. I spent all that time in the parking lot thinking. They sent the cops after me. I lie. I hid a while. Sitting on a trash can, a wave flies by. Then I toss the purse to Ezekiel, who has his fingers shoved deep in one of Ma Susie's peach pies. Found two of the back porch steps cooling, he says. Last one, have a taste. Passing what's left of it around, he unsnaps the pocketbook, then thanks me for my assistance. After he counts the money, he offers me the lion's share. It's how we've always done things. The person who takes the biggest risk gets the biggest reward. Holding out his hand, he waves $30 my way. I don't want it. He faces the back door of the pawn shop. Get that telescope. It's been in the shop window for years. A few times when the stores open late, I got to use it. And keep it where? I sigh. Ezekiel hands them each a few bills. The rest get folded and shoved deep in his front pocket. The other boys finish their pie. I take the empty pans and I wipe them clean on my pants. She likes these back. Walking over to Ezekiel, I warn him. Stay away from them. They're good people. Ezekiel was the first person I met when I came to the city. I had no coat or shoes on my feet. At night, I slept on the cold ground. He showed me the ropes and listened to my stories about the stars and beyond. More than once, I can say. I owe him. He squats down to tie the young one's shoes. Didn't expect you to be at the cafe. I heard you left town. He stands up. Wish he had. He looks up at the sky. Is it true? You ask me all the time. Sure it is. The sun is really that far away. We all stare up watching the sun going down. 93 million miles. Randy, the youngest one, sits on the ground clutching his knees. I watch maggots squirming in water not far away. I look up at the sky. Then I find a stick and I show Randy where he can find the Big Dipper, the Great Bear. An hour later, he can name the planets that's furthest away. Pluto, right? He smiles. Right. We sit in the alley in the dark under the lights. Ezekiel rolls dice, eventually winning back most of the money he shared. I thought the judge gave you 2 years, I say to Ezekiel. He did. He pulls up his shirt to show me his back. A scar runs from his shoulder to his tailbone. 65 stitches, he admits. But there is a doctor who still needs schooling, I'd say. Got it in a knife fight in reformatory. It took 3 months to heal. I ran off after the doctor took the stitches out. His eyes lose their sparkle when he says, Wouldn't you? I nod. Randy wanders away. They'll spend their money on candy, I bet. Not Ezekiel. He pulls a shirt over his head. I need a nap, he yawns. Later we'll go up under the bridge. I got a pallet there. A blanket for you, like always. A few minutes later, he's snoring. I think about my mural. Then I decide not to think about it. I look around the alley instead. The maggots gave up, I see, but the flies haven't. They stick to my sweaty skin and aim for my lips and ears. I give up swatting them and I head for the pawn shop. From the sidewalk, I can hear the owner quarreling. A woman wants more money for her pearls than he is offering. The words they use once got my mouth washed out with soap. I step inside, wave at them, and head for the telescope. It's dusty, as usual, but it still works. Not perfectly, though. The lens was always broken. A line passes through the sky when you look through it. I can't see now why I always talked about buying it. Even the knob that makes it turn left to right is rusted. Stepping outside an hour later, I see leaves get chased up the block by the wind, and the boys get chased out of the store. They run past me laughing, and they dive into the alley calling Ezekiel's name. A few minutes later, we hear sirens. I look at the opposite end of the alley and I think about making a break for it. Then the fire engines sound. Flying past the alley, it drowns out voices and gets Ezekiel moving. He talks about not pressing our luck, taking 7th Street to Michigan, walking up back alleys, then heading for his place under the bridge. I get up Ma's pan and my almanac, and I can't seem to get moving. Let's go, Ezekiel slips more candy into his mouth. They're coming for us. I dodged the cops, I lie. Mom would never send cops after a boy. Somebody's always coming, he says. Could be a man from the store up the street. Them reformatory folks, the police. Ezekiel lowers himself to tie Randy's shoe again. I don't trust nobody. He steps in a maggot puddle, then leads us out the alley. We're on Main Street when I asked for the money he swiped. $1, that's all? Only $1, that's it? Your loss. He hands it over. Using a pencil from my pocket, I write down my father's address. He could use a farmhand. He'll drive you hard, but you'll get paid. Well, it might work in your favor if you don't mention that you know me. The others fix their eyes on me. I don't know what to tell them. My father's not the type to take on a whole crew. Ezekiel folds his money neatly and slides it into his breast pocket. He gives it a little pat, then squats. He brings up the boy we left behind. You think Luke's gonna be all right? Randy, climbing onto his back, doesn't notice the heavy load. Why wouldn't he be? You trained him, didn't you? Ezekiel looks up and down the street and begins walking. I head in the opposite direction. Scarcely able to keep up on my own feet, I run for miles. Out of breath, I stop at the bridge, blocks away from the cafe. Looking down, I see pallets and people, trash cans spitting fire. Crossing the bridge, you can see the cafe, plain as day, along with a man on a bench, Mr. Jackson for sure. I take my time getting to him. Sit down, boy. He has a bat in his hand. I saw him kill a rat with it once. I'll stand, sir, if you don't mind. Peering across the street at the cafe, I see a few of the regulars. Is Ma Susie here? He sounds tired, older than usual. Send her home. He leans the bat against the wall. Of course she took that blasted boy with her. He takes the pie pans from me. She don't know you can never replace what's lost. I think about Ezekiel replacing me. He can't, I guess, but maybe he doesn't want to. I sit down and I rest on the far end of the bench. Maybe she only wants to help boys get back on their feet. I slide in closer. I plan to join the Navy, Mr. Jackson, go to college, live my dream. I have a right to do that, don't I? He doesn't say a word. I bring up Nicholson, to clear the air between us mostly. Did he go with Ma Susie? He jumps up. He better not have. He settles himself back on the bench. Tahiti, your generation, Negro or white, got sawdust for brains. Smiling, I think about Nicholson with them girls. Quit that smiling. You ruined my day. He's up now, grabbing the bat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Sorry don't always do. What about that woman's money? He says, bringing up the stolen purse. I'll pay it back from my sailor money. He walks to the curb, prepared to cross the street. How many years will that take, boy? I got no answers for him. He rubs his shoulders, crosses the street, stopping in front of the mural. Mom made me pay that woman, even for her purse. I'm thankful. You're indebted to me, that's what you are. Opening the cafe door, he asks, What made you come back? The police could have been here. I look at my name written in cursive at the bottom of the mural. I left things here. He sets them aside first. You left a mess is what you did. I told Susan, I ain't his butler. You boys. He grabs a coffee pot, heads for the kitchen. He talks about making a fresh batch of coffee. I sit down at my regular table with my hands behind my head and my feet up. I stare outside the moon. A boy's got a duty to hold on to his dreams, I think.